You did everything right. You converted your traditional IRA to a Roth. You paid the taxes. You waited. Then you pulled the money. And the IRS hit you with a 10% penalty anyway. Most people believe that once you convert to a Roth, that money is yours to access. The data tells a different story. According to IRS publication 590B, every single Roth conversion starts its own independent 5-year clock. And if you withdraw that converted principal before the clock expires, you owe a penalty every time. The Investment Company Institute reported that Americans held over $1.1 trillion in Roth IRAs as of 2023. A significant portion of those account holders are over 50 and actively converting, many without knowing this rule exists. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly how the 5-year conversion clock works, how it interacts with age 59.5, and how to build a conversion timeline that keeps every dollar penalty-free. How the Roth conversion clock actually works. Let's start with the mechanics. The IRS treats Roth conversions differently from regular Roth contributions. When you convert money from a traditional IRA or 401k into a Roth IRA, that converted amount is subject to its own 5-year holding period before it can be withdrawn penalty-free. Here's the part that gets people. It's not one clock for your whole Roth account. It's a separate clock for every conversion you make. Convert in 2023, that batch's clock started January the 1st, 2023. Convert again in 2025. That batch gets a fresh clock starting January 1st, 2025. The IRS tracks each cohort independently. The clock always starts on January 1st of the tax year you made the conversion, not the calendar date of the transaction. That means a conversion you complete on December 28th still counts as starting January 1st of that same year. That's a meaningful advantage if you're converting late in the year. Now, this 5-year rule applies specifically to converted principal, the dollars you moved over. It does not apply to earnings in the same way, and it does not apply to regular annual contributions you've made directly to your Roth. Those contribution dollars can always come back out tax and penalty free. The 5-year clock only bites the converted amounts. And if your filing status is married filing separately, the IRS applies additional restrictions on Roth conversions that can change this calculus. Your situation matters here. The age 59 FF. Interaction you cannot ignore. Here's where most people get tripped up. The 5-year conversion clock and the age 59 ahead half rule are two separate requirements, and you have to satisfy both of them before a converted amount is fully penalty-free. If you are under 59.5 and you pull converted principal before its 5-year clock expires, you owe a 10% early withdrawal penalty. That's the trap. But once you pass age 59, the conversion clock largely becomes irrelevant for the penalty question. According to the IRS, once you are 59.5 or older, the 10% penalty does not apply to Roth conversions regardless of the 5-year clock on that conversion batch. So the clock is most dangerous in this window. You are under 59.5 and you converted money less than 5 years ago. That's when the penalty is live. Here's my take. If you are 54 or 55 and starting a conversion strategy, you need to plan around age 59 and as your target exit date. A conversion you make at 54 clears its 5-year clock at 59, just before the age requirement kicks in. The timing is close enough that careful planning eliminates the gap entirely for most people. But if you're 57 and converting for the first time, that particular batch won't clear its clock until you're 62. You are already past 59.5 files, so the penalty doesn't apply anyway. The clock only really bites people who start converting and then try to access those dollars while they're still in their early to mid-50s. If that's your situation, I'd plan to leave converted dollars untouched for the full 5 years. The math is unambiguous. Ordering rules. Which dollars come out first? This is the rule that most people have never heard of, and it actually works in your favor. When you take a distribution from a Roth IRA, the IRS uses a specific ordering sequence to determine what you're withdrawing. It's defined in IRS Publication 590B. The order goes like this. Regular annual contributions come out first, then converted amounts in order of when they were converted, oldest first, and then earnings come out last. Why does this matter? Because your regular Roth contributions, the annual deposits you made directly into the account, always come out first, and they are never subject to tax or penalty. Full stop. According to the IRS, contributed amounts can be withdrawn at any time for any reason with no tax and no penalty. So if you have a Roth IRA that contains both regular contributions and converted amounts, a withdrawal first depletes your contributions before it ever touches the converted principal. That gives you a buffer. If you've been making direct Roth contributions for years alongside conversions, you may have more penalty-free accessible dollars than you realize. The right move is to track each layer separately. Know how much of your Roth balance is contributions, how much is each conversion cohort, and how much is earnings. Most custodians provide this breakdown in your account history. If yours doesn't, the IRS Form 8606 you filed each year you made a non-deductible contribution or conversion is your record. Keep those forms every year. Building a conversion ladder that works. Now let's build this into an actual strategy. A Roth conversion ladder is a method of converting small amounts each year, typically from a traditional IRA or old 401k, so that you create a staggered series of conversion batches, each with its own 5-year clock, designed to mature on a rolling schedule. I research retirement strategy for a living, and the conversion ladder is one of the most powerful tools available to late starters who are not yet 59 and a half and need to bridge income before Social Security or RMDs kick in. Here's how it works in practice. In 2025, you convert a targeted amount. That batch is penalty-free to withdraw starting January 1st, 2030. In 2026, you convert another amount. That batch clears in 2031, and so on. By the time you need to start withdrawing, you have a conversion batch maturing every year, essentially a self-funded income stream with no penalty, assuming you've cleared the 5-year clock on each. For 2025, the IRS allows Roth IRA contributions directly up to $7,000 if you're under 50, and $8,000 if you're 50 or older. Those are the catch-up contribution limits. But conversions have no annual dollar cap. You can convert as much of your traditional IRA as you want in a single year. The only constraint is your tax bracket. Converting too much in a single year pushes you into a higher bracket and could trigger IRMAA surcharges on your Medicare premiums 2 years later. The right conversion amount depends on your income, your bracket, and your projected future tax rate. Your filing status and state income tax rate change the math considerably. The data here is clear. Roth conversions are most valuable when your current tax rate is lower than your expected future rate. That's often the window between retirement and age 73, when required minimum distributions from traditional accounts begin under the Secure 2.0 Act's updated rules. Timing conversions to avoid costly surprises. Let's talk about 2 specific timing traps that catch people off guard. The first is converting in the same year you take other large income. If you sell a rental property, receive a large bonus, or take a required minimum distribution in the same year you convert, your combined income could push the conversion dollars into the 22%, 24%, or even 32% bracket. According to the IRS 2025 tax brackets, the 22% bracket for married filing jointly begins at $94,300 of taxable income. Know where you are in the bracket before you convert. The second trap is IRMAA. Medicare, Part B and Part D premiums are income tested. The Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services sets IRMAA thresholds annually. In 2025, a single filer with modified adjusted gross income above $106,000 or a married couple above $212,000 pays a surcharge on Medicare premiums. A large Roth conversion in 1 year can push you over that line 2 years later, since Medicare uses a 2-year look-back on your income. If you're already on Medicare or approaching it, plan conversions with that 2-year lag in mind. The right move is to convert in tranches. not all at once. Small, deliberate annual conversions let you control exactly where you land in the tax bracket and stay under the IRMAA thresholds. This is where running a projection, even a rough one, pays for itself many times over. Putting it all together. Let's consolidate the framework so it's clear. Every Roth conversion starts a 5-year clock on January 1st of the conversion year. That clock tracks each converted batch separately. If you withdraw converted principal before 5 years and before age 59 and a half, you owe a 10% penalty. After age 59 and a half, the penalty disappears regardless of the clock. Your regular Roth contributions always come out first and are never penalized, and a staggered conversion ladder creates a rolling series of penalty-free dollars that can fund early retirement income. The 5-year rule isn't a reason to avoid Roth conversions. It's a reason to start them early enough that the clock has time to run. If you're 50 today and you start converting this year, your first conversion batch clears at 55, 4.5 years before the 59.5 threshold. You're already building runway. The biggest mistake I see is waiting. People think they'll convert later and then find themselves at 57 wanting access to those dollars at 59, only to discover that a conversion made at 57 doesn't clear until 62, and a conversion made at 58 doesn't clear until 63. The clock doesn't bend. Start it as early as your tax situation allows. Track your Form 8606 every year. Know your conversion cohorts. Plan around the IRMAA thresholds. And build the ladder one rung at a time. I'm not a licensed financial advisor. This is general education, not personalized advice. Consult a fiduciary before acting. If this breakdown was useful, subscribe to Money After 50. We publish retirement strategy for late starters every week, built on real IRS rules, not generic advice. If you have a specific Roth question you'd like me to dig into, whether it's about conversions, contribution limits, or something you've been confused about for a while, drop it in the comments. I read every one, and your question might become the next video. Next week, we're covering the 6 most powerful retirement moves you can make in your 50s if you're behind, what I call your power decade. If you're between 50 and 60 right now, that video was built for you. This video may contain affiliate links. I only recommend tools I use personally.